State Representative Chuck Moss, the Republican from Oakland County, is with us this morning here in Grand Rapids at the Policy Forum on a Firekeepers Friday. We're brought to you by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan, and Scott Smith is here, too, from Clark Hill Legal and Professional Services. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you.
Good to be here. Grand Rapids is beautiful. You drive down Monroe. The place is gorgeous. You've got all this new construction. Looks like someone can make a go of it in Michigan.
Well, let me ask you this. I see everybody sort of filed in here last night after a heavy-duty day, looked like on Thursday at the state legislature. You're close to resolving the budget, but a couple of outstanding issues. Tax amnesty and how we're going to phase out some of these state workers with the retirement incentives, eh?
Yeah, well, I don't know about tax amnesty. I'm not in favor of that. That's just pulling forward future income, sort of cashing in a future money that we get to pay for a budget hole this year. And so the next governor, be he Mr. Bernero or Mr. Snyder, will have less to work with because we used it to patch Jennifer Granholm's budget hole. Now, as far as the state workers go, this is something we did with the teachers, and I don't see any reason why the other state workers can't accept the same deal. It's going to be obviously tricky to make the sausage and put it together, but I hope so, because I understand the Speaker of the House has said that the only alternative to that is cutting revenue sharing, which pays for police and fire all through our cities, and they've been hit hard enough as it is.
That goes right into your wheelhouse, Mr. Smith.
Yes, it does. Cities and villages and townships, municipalities across the state are suffering big time as we've had a reduction in revenue due to Proposition A and lowering property values, and the state revenue sharing's been cut. So they're trying to find different ways to do things as well or better than they have in the past.
Well, that's true. I know counties as well, and school boards, because they get property taxes as well. Everybody's affected. So I think cutting revenue sharing right now, that's just shooting the mule.
Everybody kind of feeling the pain is what you're saying.
Everybody's feeling the pain, and everybody's looking for new and innovative ways to get government done, to provide the same services with less money, and to avoid duplication.
Go ahead. I was going to say, one thing that we're going to have to do, and I may get lynched leaving this place, is that the
I hope not.
Is public. Well, I hope not. Well, this is Grand Rapids. They're very nice. Is public sector workers have gotten their compensation out beyond what everyone else has gotten, and as the economy has retreated and it's gotten less with the auto meltdown, and our economy, we're lucky if it is where it was 10 years ago, and we used to have 10 guys. You got to pay 5 guys more than the 10 guys, and that's got to be readjusted.
Well, the readjustment's beginning to occur in most municipalities across the state. The difficulty came back in the early 90s when all of the pension funds were overfunded. Everybody increased benefits because you could do that at the bargaining table without increasing the dollars out the door. Well, of course, when the stock market went down, then those pension funds all of a sudden became underfunded. So all of these post-retirement obligations are becoming big albatrosses for the municipalities to carry around.
It's about $40 billion unfunded for that health care for state workers, if you include the teachers. It's always a trick when the fat years are on to remember there'll be lean years coming.
That's right.
Representative Moss, were you one of the people yesterday who approved in the House there this idea that liquor distillers and distributors can have tasting rooms, and there would be tougher penalties on bootlegging and illegally bringing in spirits?
Okay, well, I voted no on the tasting rooms, not because I have any problem with tasting, as you and I both know. It's that what they did is the House leadership tacked on a $500, I think it's $500 fee on top of it. I don't see any problem with having sampling. I like to have a little sample and see if I like it, and maybe I'll try, maybe I'll buy it, and maybe it'll drive sales. As far as getting the state workers thing, that's kind of a sticking point. The bootlegging, it's funny. I was when I used to do a job much similar to yours back in 1994. I argued with John Engler on this very subject, only with cigarette taxes, that if you boost the cigarette tax in Michigan, everyone's going to go to Indiana, and now you have a smuggling problem and a law enforcement problem, and you got to hire cops to deal with something that you didn't have. And Engler thought that was the funniest thing he'd ever heard. He said, "Oh, you have a real active imagination." Well, here it is 16 years later, and we're dealing with it.
And I heard something about fireworks a few months ago. Is that quite? But it was the same premise, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think we have not had a decent fireworks show at my family at the cottage, because since I stopped doing it, and I can't because it's illegal, and I don't want to see the front page state representative gets caught smuggling fireworks. We don't live on an island. We're not North Korea. You can go across the border, and that's just going to be natural. When our taxes and our laws are out of whack with everybody else, the people are going to make their own decisions. It's like water finding its own level.
Well, thank you for being and finding us here this morning at
Oh,
Devos
how
Place.
how could I miss you with that red jacket there?
Thank you very much. You can see that on Fox 47 if you're watching on television right now, the red blazer that he's talking about, or on YouTube if you're anywhere else in the state at the end of the program during the day, the YouTube/MPS in the AM. We have a YouTube channel, whatever that means, and so every day you can see what Representative Moss looks like if you can't see him on television.
Yeah, but please watch anyway. The question, is that the red? That can't be Indiana. That's got to be the red.
Oh, no.
ones.
It's just plain
Red.
Just plain red.
Excellent.
Like a Michigan apple or a Michigan cherry, I guess.
Well, good. If it was green and white, you'd be making a statement.
We're not going to have funding for Pure Michigan, I guess. So they're going to stop the commercials right now.
No, we're going to have to find the money for that.
Maybe in lame duck.
I don't care where we find it. I think my dad was in marketing for Dow Chemical for his career, and you got to advertise.
Thank you very much, Scott Smith and State Representative Chuck Moss.